This podcast contains explicit language and content and is for mature audiences only.
Hey, you teenagers out there. If you're under 18, this show is more for your parents. So now that you have that mental picture stuck in your head, put some music on and get back to doing your homework.
We are a longtime married couple who's decided to chronicle our personal adventures and share our sex-positive discussions as we navigate our way through the swinging lifestyle.
Care to join us?
Well, we interrupt this podcast for some
Bad news.
Around episode 12 or 13, we talked about the issues that we were having with music licensing. And at that time, we discontinued doing any original music except for our theme song, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And at that time, we pledged to figure out what legally was necessary. Were we in compliance? Were we not? So over the past few months, I've been doing a lot of research, getting very frustrated.
Mr. Jones finally found an attorney that had some expertise in the area.
Yeah. So we do have a license that covers our website, but we don't have the 2 additional licenses that we need for podcast downloads. And in order to get an agreement, we were talking about several $1,000s per year.
Yes.
And that made the decision pretty easy to...
Let's just say it was a couple trips to Desire.
Yeah.
That's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So even though we tried, we're going to have to start over with our music, and we went ahead and purchased some music that we can use.
It's fun music. You'll like it. You'll like it.
It's a little bit different, and we're hoping that you tune in to listen to us talk more than you turn in.
Right. I mean, seriously, Mr. Jones, it's 30 seconds worth of
I know.
awesome music versus an hour and a half of us going on about our sexy times.
Yeah, it just irritates me that the
I know
industry,
it does. But the song Me and Mrs. Jones will always live on in our minds, at least, because that is the inspiration for the names that we're using on our podcast and, just for our overall theme,
right.
Classy, sexy, not taking life too seriously.
Right.
So
today's Saturday. I spent all day today going back and re-editing all of our old podcasts and replacing all the music.
True.
So you better grab the old ones if you have them, because the new ones are going to be all replaced. So with that depressing note, here's our new theme song. It sounds a little bit different, but it's a bit whimsical and a little bit of a catchy tune and more in line with our logo than the name of our podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Jones.
And I'm Mrs. Jones, and we want to welcome you to episode 28 of the We Got a Thing podcast. This month, our podcast episode is titled Desire Pearl 2016, No Explanation is Possible.
Yeah.
And that's because it was that awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll get into the meaning behind that. If you heard our episode 27, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you got a little taste of it.
Right. I need to apologize up front. I've got a little bit of fall allergy stuff going on.
Yeah, I think you got that goldenrod hay fever thing going on.
Yeah, so hopefully I can mute my microphone when I need to clear my throat so I don't drive everyone crazy.
I guess I'll have to do all the talking today, honey.
Well, you are the reason people listen. So, before we get started, I have a couple of things to get off my chest.
Oh, I know. You've been bottling all this stuff up inside of you. You just need to get it out.
Okay, so here's the backstory. For those of you who listen to the Swinging Down Under podcast with C and D, C is the female half of the couple.
The beautiful female half. Yes.
Yeah. Well, she's more than that.
Yes.
But, and then if you listen to the Curious Couple with T and A the being the female couple,
Again,
female half.
The beautiful female half.
Yes. And so prior to going to Naughty in New Orleans, both C from Swinging Down Under and A from Curious Couple described the guys that they were interested in being within a certain age range.
Oh, and we need to clarify again, if you're not familiar with these two wonderful ladies, they are both a little bit younger than us.
Yeah. So
in a couple decades.
I think what Mrs. Jones is trying to say is that I was not included in that age range.
I was trying to be gentle about it.
I was outside of it for just a wee bit outside of it. Anyway, we went to Naughty New Orleans, as you all know, and we met them for the first time, and we spent a lot of time together. We went to dinner twice with T and A, and we went out to dinner with C and D. Spent a lot of time partying together and having a good time.
I spent a lot of time giggling with C and D. That D just makes me laugh.
Yeah. And yeah, I think you even said, well, we even had C and D in our room. We
did.
We blew that opportunity.
I know we did.
On day one.
Rats.
At any rate, after Naughty New Orleans, when we all posted our podcasts, you may have noticed that both A from Curious Couple and C from Swinging Down Under are now seeing things a little bit differently, and they've expanded their age range. And in my mind, that's all because of me. So,
congratulations, honey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what else it could be. I mean, if you do the math and you listen to the podcast, I'm the only logical explanation.
So there were no other men out of the 2,300 people that were in New Orleans that could have possibly influenced them.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At any rate, if you'll just indulge me.
I'm sorry.
Okay. My ego is fragile. So anyway, I'm taking full credit for this. So we come back, as I said, after Naughty New Orleans, and they expand their age range. Well, and like 2 episodes ago at Swinging Down Under, C and D described a date that they went on. They now live in Singapore, and they went out with a couple that were our age. As a matter of fact, just to point out, the guy that they went out with was actually older than me.
Yes, he was, honey.
Right. So in my mind, I've opened up the possibility of being with these ladies for you guys in your 50s. And so this guy, so they went out with this couple, and so he's there and he's dated. They're with each other. I forget where they were in a condo or something in a hot tub together.
Yeah, it was their hotel room, like a really nice luxury hotel that had a hot tub out on a balcony.
Right. So he's with C, who again, as you described, she's beautiful. She has a fantastic body. She has boobs that are absolutely amazing.
Well, and she's like really intelligent.
I'm getting to that.
And witty.
I'm
sorry.
I'm getting to all that. She's all of that. She's the whole package. Very beautiful. I mean, no red-blooded male would not want to be with her.
I agree.
Is what I'm saying. So here's this guy. He has an opportunity to be with her because of me, in my mind. And so what does he do? I can't even say it.
I know, it's tragic.
Yeah, so she's there with him naked, and he gets out his iPad and watches porn on his iPad and plays with himself.
While his wife is playing with
D.
With D, yeah.
Right.
And C's kind of left hanging.
Right. It's mind-boggling, and it's irritating because, guys, I've given you this opportunity, and you blew it. I mean, that's a foul. That's a lifestyle foul.
Totally.
No matter the age, when you're agreeing to play with the couple and you've had the conversation, you don't disengage and go get your iPad and start watching porn. It's just wrong. And my beef is that now I'm afraid, now that I've broken through the glass ceiling, or
AKA
the glass panties, I guess you should say. After I did all that and broke through the glass panties, and this guy, has an in because of me, and he totally blows it.
I know.
And so now I'm afraid that they're going to revert back to the other age range before.
And we are exactly on the opposite side of the earth from them.
Yeah.
We have a 12-hour time difference, so we are exactly halfway around the world from them. So you can't even easily fix it.
No, I mean, we've been doing damage control.
We have had some fun Skype sessions with them.
I Skyped with them immediately. I'm sending tweets. I'm trying to, do damage control, and I think we might be okay. But look, guys, you gotta, if you get this opportunity to be with a woman like that, that's just wrong.
Yes.
So anyway, I had to get that off my chest.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. I mean, you agree with me, right?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm into her too.
Right.
I just don't understand the problem.
Okay. So it's not just me.
No.
And if it is, if that's really not the case, ladies,
don't tell him.
Just pretend like it is me.
Yeah. Let's find a way to work around this because yes, he does have a fragile ego.
I would be crushed. My ego would be bruised. I'd lose my self-confidence. I'd lock myself in the basement, get out of the lifestyle, quit doing the podcast. And, so you can see where this would lead. So anyway, I just, sorry about that. I had to get that off my chest.
Okay. On a lighter note.
Yeah.
The second thing we wanted to bring up is we were looking through our website and our iTunes reviews, and we're just looking at all this data the other day, and we looked at our iTunes reviews, and guess how many we have?
Yeah, we have 68.
We have 68. You know what that means, folks? The next person that writes an iTunes review for We Got a Thing will be our 69th review.
Forever.
I know somebody wants a 69 with us, Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Somebody's got it.
And once you get 69 is always yours.
That's right.
No
They're never going to change order.
Right. So we've come up with an idea of, we want to do some sort of a promotion. We really want to get to 100 reviews before the end of December.
Yes.
And it's only September now, so it's doable.
Right.
We should be able to get 30 or so before then. So would you please help us?
Yes.
Or please help the sexiest voice on iTunes, if not for me.
Yeah, I mean, we know it's frustrating doing iTunes reviews because the iTunes doesn't exactly make it user-friendly. But Mr. Jones says that you can change your name to like a nickname.
Yeah, if you go into iTunes profile, you can change your name to a nickname so that when you leave us a review, or anyone a review, your
teenage children won't see that you've left a review on a lifestyle podcast, right?
Yeah, don't make that mistake.
Yeah.
All right. So, keeping up with the Joneses. We've been in recovery mode.
We have been. We haven't done a lot since we got home from Desire, but it's really only been, really kind of, 3 weeks now? Not even 3 weeks that we've been home.
Yeah.
That first week was rough. We were tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't get home until, 3 in the morning.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to go to work. But anyway, forget about that. So we had a Mr. and Mrs. Jones weekend.
We did, and we really needed that. And we had some family birthdays and
right.
and just normal stuff that weekend. It was really nice. We didn't really go anywhere. We just kind of hung out, and I don't know. I think we might have attempted a long run. Mr. Jones and I are going to run a marathon this fall, and it has been hot in Virginia this summer.
It's been stinking hot.
Like today, we were supposed to do a long run. I have not even stepped outside today.
It's like in the mid-90s.
Yeah, and 100% humidity. It is ridiculous. So
right.
We've just been laying low.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. So really the only thing lifestyle we have to talk about is a date we went on locally.
We did. We had a very local couple, as in like just kind of almost down the street from us, approach us and ask if we wanted to meet them for drinks here in town. And usually we get out of our community a little bit, either 20 minutes north or south.
Well, especially since we don't think they know we're podcasters. It came through our local APG dating site.
Right.
Right.
So they had a nice profile. There weren't a lot of pictures. There were no face pictures that we had access to at first.
Until just a couple hours before we met.
Right.
Which I was worried about.
Right.
I mean, I was going to shut the whole thing down because they didn't open up their face pictures and they didn't tell us their first names until just a couple hours before we met them.
Right. So, Mr. Jones was like on his way home from work, and, I was already home from work getting changed, and it's like, okay, well, are we really going to do this?
Right.
So finally they sent us some face pictures, and she is significantly younger than him, and really kind of...
Which is okay with me.
Yeah. I mean, well, but it was at her age on their profile was at the bottom of our age range.
Yeah.
His age was much more reasonable. So when we saw their face pictures, his pictures were fine. He was a good looking enough guy, and she looked a little bit older than, like, her face looked a little bit older than her profile, but she had an amazing body.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. She almost looked like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And she had some really nice pictures on their profile. So we were like, okay, well, this is going to work out. So we get to the place, and we've lived in our town for decades, and we've been to this local bar once.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of almost dive bar-ish. And they had suggested going there. So we were like, well, okay.
No, it's not even a dive bar. Dive bar means it's got character.
Well, that's true. Yeah, this is just
a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's loud. There's no carpet. The floor is like a gym floor, and there's TVs on. And
I think they want to be a sports bar, but they don't do it right.
No.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we found some outside seating.
Yeah.
To get away from the noise. And,
yeah.
Anyway, to cut
they
to
were
the
15
chase.
minutes late, and we were like, okay, well, how long are we going to give them?
Yeah.
So they pulled up right at the last minute. But when they pulled up, they were extremely friendly, and she looked fantastic. And we got some beers. And
Well, she looked fantastic.
Oh,
but
I was going to get to that. So we all ordered some drinks, and we sat down outside, and he immediately started talking about the fact that he wasn't in as good of shape as he used to be. She was a runner, and we had run the same race multiple times. So we had a lot in common to talk about in that regard. We go to the same gym. So we were trying to figure out if we'd ever seen each other at the gym. So we totally hit it off with her, and
we hit it off with both of them.
Yeah, personality wise, we hit it off with both of them. We had a lot in common with her, but he had definitely gained weight since the pictures were taken that were posted on their profile.
And the pictures were old.
The pictures were definitely old. He had grown a beard, and I don't mind a beard on a gentleman, but his beard was kind of scruffy. It wasn't well groomed.
Yeah.
And it wasn't flattering to his face. I think his face would have
looked... a beard and a belly.
Yeah. Well, I was getting that too. Yeah. He had gained, I would say, a good 30, 40.
Maybe more.
Yeah, pounds.
Yeah.
So
those pictures didn't show that.
No.
And their ages were about 10 or 12 years different.
Well, right. Because... so on her profile, it said that she was 33, but then when they were talking, they had been married 20 years. So either they got married when she was a little tiny
13.
Girl,
Yeah,
or something was wrong with their ages.
Yeah.
And we just we didn't call him out on it. We just let it go. But he, how many times did he say
4.
something about his appearance?
4. So the bottom line, well, it's not the bottom line. The main thing about it was he kept referencing him, and he used the word fat. He kept saying, I know I'm fat. And you say that 4 times.
And we weren't, and we weren't even, I was trying to gloss over it. I was trying to let it go because they were so nice, and they were just really easy to talk to. We actually had a lot in common.
Well, they had great personalities.
Yeah.
They had a great relationship. They have a great story.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for that, it would have been a good match. But
Yep. And it'd been super convenient. I mean,
Yeah.
we live really close to each other.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
yeah.
Anyway, so you made me write the Dear John letter the next
did.
day.
And I mean, they were so nice. I remember at one point he was telling a story, and I was listening to the story, but in like the back of my mind, it was running through my mind like, okay, he's so nice. Would it be okay once I got in the moment if, he touched me? And then I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think so. And then I was like, okay, well, could I kiss him? And I'm just looking, I don't know. Like I said, I don't mind facial hair on a man if it's like well groomed and if it flatters his face, but he just looks so scruffy. I'm like, I don't even think I could kiss him.
No.
It was,
It was a mismatch.
It was.
And we, Dee from Swinging Down Under, they were talking about this, that, how oftentimes the woman is really put together.
They really noticed that at Naughty New Orleans.
Yeah, and this guy had definitely let himself go. But
yeah. It was a shame.
We had a good time, and I'm sorry we won't be able to.
Yes, I made Mr. Jones write the Dear John letter.
I would not ask you to take one. Oh yeah, I did, and I read it to you. It was pretty polite, right?
You're very good at that.
But it was direct.
Well, You're clear, but you're very polite.
Yeah.
And you don't write it in a hurtful way.
Right.
Like, you're fat and my wife doesn't think you're sexy. I mean, you just basically said there really wasn't a four-way connection.
Yeah.
Period.
Anyway, maybe he'll be motivated to.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, if he would, get in shape and develop a little self-confidence,
Yeah.
that would be fun to revisit that.
Yeah. So that's about all that's been going on with us. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the amazing time we had at Desire Pearl 2016.
Welcome back to segment 2 of our episode 28. And again, the title is called Desire Pearl 2016, No Explanation is Possible. And that is for the people that have not been to Desire.
Yes.
No explanation is possible. I mean, you hear all the fun, sexy stories, but, to imagine yourself with your partner there, it just might be too much to wrap your head around. But on the other hand, if you listen to our episode 27, we had interviewed a couple when we were at Desire last month, and their names were Jay and Nathan, and they were from Canada. And his saying that he said that was just so profound was, if you've never been to Desire, no explanation is possible. But if you have been to Desire, no explanation is necessary.
Yeah.
So, we're kind of reaching out to the people that haven't been to Desire. No explanation is possible. You have to hear it, but then at the same time, you need to get online and book a vacation. So I think the thing that made this trip a little bit different than the trips that we've had in the past, and I know we've said this, like last year when we got back from Desire, every time we go, the trip takes on a life of its own, and it kind of develops its own character or whatever.
Yeah.
So this year, what was really a standout for us is that we got to meet so many people.
Yeah.
And we were just social butterflies.
and speaking of being different every vacation, I'd like to give, a lot of people ask us, and a lot of people have an opinion on, should I go to Desire or Pearl, or should I go to RM?
Oh, here comes another rant.
And, which one do you like better? And let me just tell you, if you have a good relationship with your spouse and you want a sexy vacation, you can go to either one and you will have a good time.
No doubt.
What you need to be careful of, all you people that have been to Desire and you recommend one over the other, we were at Pearl this week. There's been a lot. Generally, what you hear is that RM is a little more lively and a little more sexy, and Pearl is a little bit more laid back and a little sensual. Let me tell you, Pearl was hopping.
It sure was.
There were people leaving RM to come to Pearl every day.
Yeah.
Pearl was at capacity, and there was a lot of attractive people there, and there was a lot of shit going on. I mean, and it reminded me of our trip to Temptation.
It did.
It was just that vibe at Pearl.
It was a party
right.
all week.
Right. So just keep in mind when you're making plans and you're reading these forums and you're getting recommendations from people, it depends on the week. It depends on the month. It depends on who's going to be there. It depends on if there's a group there. It depends on if it's a takeover. There's a lot of things because they're basically small resorts and can be very influenced by the group of people that stay there.
Right.
And I have to admit that this was probably the most active we have ever seen Pearl.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we could go to RM and we would have a good time. So we just go to Pearl because that's like home. We've been to Pearl more than we've been to RM.
So, Mr. Jones, are you done with your rant?
Well, yeah, but I reserve the right to re-rant at any point in time.
Well, I'm going to take advantage of your rant because I don't know that all of our listeners know, because we don't say this very often, but when you go to our website, we actually have is it a banner or a link or what is it? Here I am being technology
You had it right-
illiterate
you
again.
had- You had it right the first time.
So
It's
we have a
banner.
Desire banner on our website. And if you click through it, if you're planning on booking a trip to Desire anyway, if you click through our banner, then Desire knows that you came through our website, and we do get a little bit of credit for that monetarily.
Credit as in dollars.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Desire charges you the same price. They just give us, I guess you could consider it commission or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're asking people for 100 iTunes reviews before the end of the year.
And to book a trip to Desire.
Through our web banner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can remember to do that, click through, because that helps us a little bit. And, it lets Desire know that we really do have listeners out there.
Yeah. And you're so irresistible. Now the cash is just going to roll in.
Oh, yeah. Don't hold your breath.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we got to Desire on Saturday, and we got there before lunch, and it was amazing because our room was ready. That never happens. So that was really exciting because we didn't have to go to the spa and dig out our suntan lotion and all that stuff. We were actually able to go to our room and get settled in right away. And we had time to eat lunch and get some food in our bellies before the foam party started.
Yep.
That was really fun.
Yeah, it was a good afternoon.
That's a good way to start a vacation with a foam
weather.
party.
Yep.
And then after that, unfortunately, it started raining around dinner time. And when we say raining, we're talking about
it was raining sideways.
Wind. Oh my goodness. And we did not have an umbrella in our room. Usually they have a golf umbrella in your room so that, you can kind of get around, because if you've never been to Desire, it's a bunch of separate buildings with walkways, but the walkways aren't covered. So we were like, man, we can't go anywhere because we are just going to get soaked. We tried to go to dinner at the beginning, in the middle of the rainstorm, and we got about 6 feet from our building and we were just soaked. And I was like, I can't do this. I mean, I'm soaked.
Yeah.
So anyway, we managed to get dinner before the restaurant closed, but barely. I mean, we just kind of hunkered down in our room all night, which was good because we were tired.
Yeah, it was a travel day.
Yeah, it gave us time to get settled in. But then it rained all day Sunday.
That's the first time that we've had a complete rain out day.
Yeah.
And fortunately, that was the only day that week that it rained.
Yeah.
But they moved all the games into the lobby, and we got a free massage, in the afternoon, and that helped take the time.
Right. Well, and then in the lobby, because your choices were basically stay in your room and take a nap, or hang out in the lobby and drink and play ping pong or cornhole. Yeah. So, there were a lot of people in the lobby, and we got to meet quite a few people.
Well, there were a lot of people coming and going that day because it was Sunday.
Yeah.
A lot of people left in the morning and a lot of people were coming in. So we were able to meet people as they were coming in.
Yeah. So, and it was actually kind of fun. And then it cleared up that night.
Yeah.
And then that night was neon night. And that's one of my favorite nights.
Yeah. And a few, you had ordered some glow sticks and jelly rings or something.
So here's a tip. If you're ever thinking about going to Desire, you can go on Amazon and order 100 glow sticks for nothing. I mean, I probably had $10 invested in all this stuff. And then I ordered these for the ladies, they're these jelly rings, and they have these little LED flashing lights in them. So I had a dozen of those, and I think 100 glow sticks. So they had a live band in the lobby that night, and there were people dancing and sitting around on all the furniture in the lobby waiting for the show to start in the disco. And Mr. Jones brought the glow sticks, and he started stringing them together and making necklaces.
Yeah, let me tell you guys, you get a lot of attention if you're holding the glow sticks and the jelly rings, because all the ladies want one.
That's right.
And so they came up to me and I was handing them out, and may have charged a kiss or two, depending on the lady.
Well, and then we made friends because this guy in the lobby offered to, he and his wife helped us make the necklaces because we had to string them together. So we made friends and got to know a lot of people by handing those things out. That was really fun.
Right. So we after that the disco wasn't open that night, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the show, and I think you and I danced for a little while, but we ended up going to the hot tub after that.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah.
We went to the hot tub.
Yeah, that worked out well.
Yeah. We were talking to a lot of people in the hot tub, and
you and I just got in the hot tub, and we were trying to figure out what we wanted to drink, because you were going to because the hot tub was crowded because everybody had been stuck either in their rooms or in the lobby all day. So it had stopped raining, and everybody was so excited to finally be out and not be rained on.
Right.
So the hot tub was packed. So we were trying to fish our way over to the bar to order a drink, and we ran into this couple and started chatting it up with them, and talked to them for a long time. And then I guess we finally got drinks, and the four of us were just kind of getting to know each other and stuff. And
they were very attractive.
I forgot that part.
Yes.
They were very attractive.
Yeah.
So after we've been talking for a while, I think you and the gentleman excused yourselves and went to the men's room.
Right.
So, and she and I were kind of in the middle of the hot tub.
And that's one of my favorite things to do at Desire.
I don't understand that, because at night when you get out of the hot tub and you go to the bathroom, the air conditioning is so freaking cold.
I know, but you remember a few episodes ago I was complaining about the pee hole in my underwear?
Oh, true.
At Desire, you just walk in and go.
I know. It's
hands free.
I know. It's not temptation. You don't have to have wet board shorts on.
Yeah.
I know.
And you know what? You don't have to wash your hands afterwards, but I always do, because they have the rolled up washcloths.
Yes. They spoil you rotten.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So you just walk in, you can have your hands up in the air, and you just go and walk back. Anyway, sorry. So he and I went to the bathroom.
Right. So while you two were having fun in the freezing cold men's room, she and I were sitting on that. There's a middle area of the hot tub with a ledge around. It's kind of a raised circle. So she and I were just sitting there talking, and she leans over to me and she says, "Your voice sounds really familiar." And I looked at her and I said, "Do y'all listen to podcasts?" And she was like, "Well, yes, we do." So it all comes out that when you and I originally, when we got in the hot tub that night, and we were just kind of standing there figuring out what we wanted to drink or whatever, you must have said something to me that made me laugh.
Of course. I'm one of my witty.
You are so witty.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
You make me laugh all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, you must have said something that made me laugh, and they heard me laugh, and they said that when they heard me laugh, they recognized it, and they said, "Oh my gosh, I think that must be the Joneses." So then I guess they kind of like eavesdropped to make sure that it really, that our voices did sound familiar. And that's when they came over and approached us and struck up the conversation.
Okay.
So yeah, they knew more about us than we knew about them.
So we had a little assist from the Joneses for that play.
I know.
So they came over and started. Then I came back and you told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we talked to them for a long time in the hot tub, probably till like 2.
It was. So I suspect, because the show in the disco, I think always starts at 10:30. And I know you and I didn't dance that long that night.
So they both went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
At about 2. And I nudged you and I said, "Well, what do you think?" I said, I think they're great. And she's really attractive. And you said, "Yeah, I'm in." Well, they must have had the same conversation. When they were gone, because
that must be why they went to the bathroom together, so
they
can have the talk. As soon as
they came back, and I'm not even sure how we ended up in there.
I don't remember this. I don't remember how we got from just like.
Oh, she said.
Talking.
I think it was something about that dumb card game.
Oh.
That dumb card game is scoring us.
It's golden.
Yeah.
That card game is golden.
No, it's the dumb. Because people always say she said,
they do.
Did you bring? That's what she said. She said, "Did you bring the dumb card game?"
And I said, "Well, yes, I did."
Yeah. And they invited us back, and we were like, thumbs up.
Yep.
So we went back to their room, and
we got to their room at 2.
Yeah. Well, this was day 2, though.
It was, yeah. So we still had energy.
Yeah.
I guess we had acclimated to the time.
But even though they were fairly new, they were really new to the lifestyle, and we talked about soft swap, which was great. But
when we first, I think before we even went to the room, they said, "Look, we're really new and we might need to pull the plug at any time."
Right. And I so respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were like, "Okay, well, we think you're fun. And if we just go back to your room and play the card game and talk, that's okay with us. I mean, if something more happens, that's a bonus."
Right.
So luckily something more happened.
Yeah, it did. We went back and started playing the game and went from conversation to the action cards. And
well, they said that they were really new. So Again, the card game, I'm sure that if you guys listen to us, you know this already, but the card game we're talking about has 2 separate decks. One's an icebreaker deck, and it's only conversation cards. There's no action like kissing or nibbling or blowjobs or anything like that. It's just conversation. So we played 2 full rounds of conversation because I wanted to make sure that they were able to kind of relax into the environment. So, but then we did move to the second deck.
Yeah, quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, and she and I started making out, and I kept looking over at him. And,
right.
And what did you say he said when you were keeping an eye on him too?
So their room had they had an amazing room. It was like right on the hot tub on the ground floor.
It was a master suite.
Yeah. But their room had 2 queen size beds. So you and the wife were sitting on the edge of one bed, and he and I were sitting on the edge of the other bed. So when the card said that you 2 had to kiss, I leaned over to him and I said, "Have you ever seen her kiss anybody else before?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Well, how do you feel about that?" I said, "It's pretty hot." And he said, "Oh my gosh, yeah, that is so fucking hot."
Yeah.
And they're just a very polite, articulate couple. And for him to say, "Yeah, that's so fucking hot," I was like,
Yeah.
All right, I think he likes it.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we went and we soft swapped with them, and she was all in.
She was. Well, so was he. And he was he had an excellent technique.
And I was watching them, and they were watching each other. And at one time I caught him mouthing to her, like, "I love you."
Yeah, he did.
And at that point in time, I knew we were golden.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he said to her, "I love you." And she was looking at him with just the most beautiful smile on her face.
Yeah.
Well, she was beautiful anyway, but she was just glowing, because they were, even though they were playing with you and I, they were so connected with each other.
Yes.
And that was sexy.
Yes. So to our Michigan friends.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we may hear from you later in the podcast.
I think so.
Yeah.
So that was an excellent way to start the vacation.
Right. So Monday, the weather cleared up. It was a nice day. We stayed at the pool all day.
Yep.
Met some new friends.
Yep.
Fortunately, we were, was it the night before? When did we first see our Nebraska friends at the disco?
It was the night before. So we forgot to talk about that. So on Neon Night, when we were in the disco.
Yeah, we were in the disco the night before, and there was a couple in there, and I noticed her because, I had noticed her in the pool earlier in the day, and she had a white hat on like you have.
Yeah, it was like a white straw Panama hat.
Yeah, but at the disco at Neon Night, she had a dress on that was nothing but strings in the front.
It was like metallic strings.
And there was nothing in the back except for maybe 2 strings holding it up. And I was mesmerized by that dress.
Well, her body was amazing.
Yeah.
And she was beautiful hair.
Yeah.
And then this dress, oh my goodness. And then she could dance on top of it.
Right. So we caught up with them on Monday in the pool and started talking with them to get to know them because they were definitely on our radar.
Yes.
Yeah. But the other thing that we had to look forward to on Monday was that we had some friends that we had some listeners that had contacted us ahead of time. They were they were going to be at RM.
Right.
And they had made plans to come over with us. And they emailed us before we left. And I was in bed at one night, and we got this email from them, and they sent pictures.
Right. And they said that they would like to get a day pass and come over to Pearl for the day and have dinner with us on Monday. And I looked at their pictures and I was like, oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell them yes right now. So we did, and they were coming over Monday.
Yeah, and they came over at 6 so that we could have drinks in the lobby before we actually went into dinner.
Yeah, and they're from Florida.
Yeah.
And we met them. So we didn't stay in the hot tub very long because we had to get up early. We had to get ready early for dinner.
Right. I don't even think we went to the hot tub that afternoon.
No, we didn't.
So, we got all dressed up. And I remember when we walked into the lobby and we saw them, we were like, oh, yeah, this is not going to disappoint.
Yeah. Wow, what a great couple.
Yeah.
So we went to dinner with them.
Yep, in the fancy Pearl restaurant. And they're just one of those couples that as soon as you start talking to them, it feels like you've known each other forever.
Yeah.
Like there was never awkward conversation or
But not only that, there was a lot of There was a lot of sexual tension in the air.
Yeah, there was an immediate attraction.
Yeah, it was electric.
Yes.
I was a little bit disappointed because they said, "Oh, he's got friction dick," because they had been with the couple the night before in the pool, and he didn't realize it, but a little bit of friction in the pool water. But immediately they said, "Well, we want to come back Wednesday if it's okay with you and spend time with you Wednesday." And we said, "Okay, good."
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was already some tension.
Yes, we already knew that there was definitely some playtime in our future.
Yeah. So we finished dinner. We had a great time with them. We went to. Did we go? What did we do after dinner?
We didn't even bother going to the disco because it was schoolgirl night.
Yeah.
And so after dinner, we went back into the lobby because we were at the Pearl restaurant and the lobby is literally just like 2 steps away. So we went back into the lobby to maybe get a drink before we were going to go back to our room to change and then, go to the show and all that stuff. When we were in the lobby getting a drink, there was this really drunk guy in the lobby with a schoolgirl outfit on. A guy with a schoolgirl outfit on.
Right.
And it was my schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah, so you were really irritated.
I was so disappointed because schoolgirl night is like our favorite night.
That's my favorite night.
I know. And I have this schoolgirl outfit and I like to put my hair in pigtails and I have red ribbons to put in my pigtails and I just really have fun with that. I can just be like a little teenage bitch.
Yeah.
So when I see this like sloppy drunk guy with my exact schoolgirl outfit on, it was just like, meh.
Yeah, you're like, I can't wear that.
I know. So schoolgirl night was over, in my opinion.
So the 4 of us went back to our room, and
Yes.
they wanted to play the card game on conversation only, which was a great idea, but it was a horrible idea. So
it was torture.
we did a few rounds of that, and just doing the conversation ones. I mean, I was sweating. I was getting so worked up.
I know.
And he was getting worked up too. And then we had to pull the plug on the evening because he was incapacitated.
But if you think about it, Mr. Jones, we met them at 6:00 in the lobby.
Yeah.
I think they called us into dinner at 7. And we probably took a couple hours to eat dinner because we were talking a lot and, Pearl has a lot of courses. We didn't leave our room to go because they had to take a taxi back to RM. We didn't leave our room until 1:30.
Yeah.
We didn't have any sex. I think I kissed him goodnight because there was just so much tension and like it was painful for him to get aroused.
Yeah. It was palpable. Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. And he was just like
I didn't
Hollywood
feel bad
gorgeous.
for him. I was angry with him at that point.
Well, it wasn't his fault.
Well, I don't know. Anyway, so
I don't know what we talked about from 6 to 1:30.
It was about sex.
I guess it was. I don't know.
It was
I
hot.
can't imagine.
Yeah.
The time went by so fast.
Yeah.
It really did. But yes, we managed to do that conversation card game and then just talk and not have any sex for 7.5 hours with them. So after we saw them off and ate our pizza, we decided we were still too fired up. We couldn't just go to bed and go to sleep. So you and I just went to the hot tub and just stripped off our clothes and just hopped in the hot tub. And we met a couple in there that actually live in our area.
Well, so there were 2 couples there that lived in our area.
Right.
One that rode on a plane with us on the way over.
Right. Coincidentally, I sat next to them on the airplane.
Yeah.
On the way out.
Yeah. And then another couple, her place of business is within like a half a mile of my place of business.
I know. So we met them in the hot tub and just couldn't believe how close we lived to each other or worked next to each other or whatever. And they were just an awesome couple.
Right.
So we talked to them in the hot tub until 3:00.
Yeah.
That night.
Yeah.
And then finally turned in after that.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about the hot tub, when you're in the hot tub that late at night, the bartender starts like putting the bottles away at 2. So if you want to drink after 2, you kind of get what hasn't been put
Yeah,
away
you have
yet.
to say, hey, don't put that away.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the liqueur 43 is one of the first things to be put away. So if I want my liqueur 43 on the rocks at night, I got to order it before 2.
Right. Right.
So yeah, so I think we turned in at 3. I think our hormones finally like settled back down, and we were able to go to sleep
Yeah.
at 3. And the night before we were up till 4. So yeah, we were learning to adjust our body clocks to sleep in a little bit.
Right.
So on Tuesday, after we slept in,
Yeah.
we hung out in the pool and ate some lunch, and then it was Kinky Darts Day.
Yeah.
One of my favorite activities.
Yeah. But we only came in third
I know.
because I couldn't hit the G spot.
I know. Again,
Right.
I'm blaming it on the dartboard this year, because I swear we were throwing the darts well, but they weren't sticking to the dartboard, because I think that
Yeah.
dartboard kind of sits out in the weather.
Yeah.
maybe,
They need a new
and-
dartboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll blame it on that.
Yeah.
So yes, that's our lot in life. You know, we were in the top 3 for the Lifestyle Awards for our podcast, and then we came in 3rd for Kinky Darts. That's our lot in life, Mr. Jones. Oh
Yep.
well.
So it happened to be that Michael and Holly were there that week.
Yeah.
From Playboy Radio.
Yes.
And Playboy Swing. And we met them a couple of years ago, and they've been really supportive of our podcast. So we had made arrangements to go to dinner with them and then another couple,
Yes.
right? So there were 6 of us that night,
Right.
and it was Playboy Bunny night.
How convenient.
Yes. So Mrs. Jones
Yes.
got to go to dinner and have her picture taken
With a real
Playboy
Playboy
bunny on Playboy Bunny night.
It was amazing.
Yes.
Well, okay, so yes, it was amazing, because Holly is a Playboy bunny and she's absolutely stunning. But let us say that Michael and Holly are fantastic people.
They are.
We had so much fun at dinner with them, along with the other couple
Yeah.
that we met. But, you know, Michael and Holly are a married couple that have children, and they have a household to run, and they seem like these like lifestyle rock stars, and they are. But what was nice about this week is that we actually got to talk to them just person to person
Right.
about normal stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cool.
Yeah. And she had the dress on that night too.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Let's go back to how gorgeous she is. Yes. So Holly has this dress. It's a white dress, and it's really like it comes down to her knees.
Yeah. It's long.
It's like a midi style dress, but it has one of those exposed zippers that zips all the way up the front. So you could like actually unzip it and it would like totally open up. And then it has this amazing keyhole at the top. So like it has this keyhole between her breasts, which her breasts are absolute perfection if you've never seen them before. So she was amazingly stunning that night.
Yeah. And that's the same dress she had on at New Orleans in
Yeah.
the award ceremony.
When they first showed up for dinner, we met them in the lobby at the bar to have a drink before dinner. And when she showed up and had that dress on, I leaned over to her and I said, if you didn't wear that dress for Mr. Jones tonight, can you please just pretend that you did? Because he absolutely thinks that dress is amazing.
Honey, obviously she wore that dress for me.
Of course she did.
Yeah. So first
Yes.
there's A from Curious Couple.
Yes.
There's C from Swinging Down Under.
Yes.
And there's Holly.
Yes.
You know, they're all, it's not like I have a switch and I can just turn off the charm.
True.
Yeah.
True. Your switch has been on for me for 30 something years.
What can I say?
I'm sure these young ladies just like fall right under your spell as well.
Yeah. But Michael took a picture of you and Holly and the other young lady that was
Yes.
having dinner with us and posted it on his Twitter timeline.
I know.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was amazing to get my picture taken with her. I had to chicken out, and he put like a little like duck face icon over my face and the other lady's face.
Yes.
So I couldn't come out that far, but yes, I did get
Yeah.
my picture taken with Holly. So after dinner, I think we might have had a drink in the lobby, and then we went into the disco because it was Chippendale night.
Mm-hmm.
And they always have a Chippendale contest one night during the week. And what they do is they seat ladies around the edge of the dance floor, and then they bring up 5 gentlemen that are guests of the resort, and they have to do like a striptease thing for the ladies, and we're sitting right in front of them. So it gets a little interactive, and it's hilarious. I mean, I kind of feel sorry for the guys because most of the guys are like extremely uncomfortable. And there's always like one guy that's like totally prepared and he has his whole like routine planned out. But anyway, it is so much fun for the ladies that are sitting around the edge of the dance floor, and we get to be the judges, I guess. Well, my timing was perfect because I sat down and there was a seat next to me, and who sits down next to me but the gorgeous lady with the string dress.
Our Nebraska friends.
Yes, our Nebraska friends that I had danced with on Neon Night. So she and I sat next to each other and we did the little judging. And then after the contest was over, we all danced a little bit, but we didn't end up really dancing with them. We kind of drifted apart. And you and I were having fun on the dance floor for a little while. And then after a little while, you said to me, I think we should go into the playroom. And I thought to myself, well, okay. I mean, because you and I haven't been in the playroom for several trips now to Desire. So right. I'm like, okay, well, that'd be fun because we haven't done that in a while. I said, but I need to use the ladies' room first. So I said, I'll be right back. So I left the nightclub and I went to the restroom. When I came back, you and I went to the playroom. And when we get in there was only one other couple in there. And who was it but our Nebraska friends?
What a coincidence.
I know. So they were kind of in one corner of the playroom, and you and I grabbed towels and we went to the other corner, and they were already like totally into
engaged.
Each other. Yeah, the party had started in the playroom, let's just say. So you and I got our own little party started and we were having fun with each other. And as you and I are interacting and kind of like changing positions and doing whatever, you keep like scooting towards the middle of the playroom.
There was a tractor
out of the corner.
There was a tractor beam.
I guess there was.
They were pulling us in.
And I was really confused because, I mean, I was really attracted to this couple too, but we had never talked to them about playing. We had talked about a lot of stuff. We knew that they had kind of dabbled in the lifestyle a little bit, but we never talked about playing with them. So you keep scooting closer and closer. And I'm like, what is he doing?
I was trying to make sure you were comfortable.
Yeah, right. With this gorgeous lady on the 5 feet away from us. So finally we get close enough that you reached over and you touched her. I mean, you put your hand on like her arm or something. You didn't like immediately start pawing her. And I was like, okay, well, she didn't flinch or anything, so it must be okay.
And her husband is still smiling.
Yeah, he was smiling. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is all right. I mean, I'm
and then
kind
he
of
started
big on
touching
consent.
your arm.
Yeah. So there's a sex swing that hangs in the middle of the playroom at Pearl, and we have a sex swing in our house, so we're kind of familiar with how they work. So I looked at her and I said, have you ever been in a sex swing before? And she said, no. And I said, well, do you want me to help you get in it? Because I know how to use one. And she's like, okay. So we all got her in the swing and got her comfortable. And then her husband was going down on her while she was in the swing. And I think I might have been kissing her and you were kind of rubbing her legs, or I don't know, were you playing with her breasts or something? I think we were all kind of playing with her a little bit.
It's possible.
Yeah. She was pretty irresistible. So we did that for a while, and then she got out of the swing. And then the next thing I know, we kind of ended up swapping partners.
Soft swapping.
Yeah. So yeah, it was soft swap experience, but it was just kind of naturally free flowing, and wow, it was pretty hot.
Yeah, it was.
And the whole time I have like these alarms going off in my brain, but like the rest of my body's like, shut up, this is awesome.
Yeah, we soft swap, and then we swap back. I came back to you.
Yeah, and then we
came
finished
back to him, and we all finished together.
That was hot. That was pretty intense.
That was the best playroom experience ever.
Yeah, that was really intense.
Yeah.
So we all got dressed and we went out, and he ordered 4 shots of Don Julio
to celebrate.
Yeah, and we all took our shot, and I'm still in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what the heck just happened here?
Yeah.
So then I think we all went to bed at that point. You and I did not go to the hot tub. I think we were tired. We had been up so late, and we just had really good sex and a nice shot of tequila. So we went to bed, and I'm like, Mr. Jones, why in the world did you think it was just okay to scooch over there with those people without talking to them first? And you were like, well, when you went to the bathroom, when I was waiting for you in the disco, I saw them go back to the playroom, and he gave me the head nod or the head nudge or whatever.
Yeah, he made eye contact with me, and he did the head nod. He's like, "Come on." So I got the nonverbal invitation.
I know, but when I came back from the restroom, you didn't tell me that.
I know, but do you think I would just like grab another woman without any kind of communication or
I
consent?
was kind of wondering at that point.
Honey, you need to learn how to trust me.
Well, obviously I did, because everything worked out quite well.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they had to leave the next morning.
Yeah.
So luckily we did run into them at breakfast, and we exchanged contact information, and had a couple good laughs. But yeah, they had to go home that next day.
Yeah, they did.
That was a bummer.
But thank you.
Yes.
Our Nebraska
yes,
friends.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So sexy and fun.
Yeah. So the next day, it was a great day. The weather was great again. And this was the day that Michael and Holly were going to broadcast.
Right.
From the pool.
Yeah.
And this was the day, drum roll.
Yeah.
That our Florida friends were coming back.
Right. But they weren't coming back until 3. So we had the whole morning and an afternoon to kill. So you and I tried to play cornhole that morning. And my mojo wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you whooped me.
I did.
And Marco told you. He walked by and he gave you the finger shake and he said, "You let her win." And did you do that?
No. Did it come back to haunt me? No.
Well, no. But you whooped me. That wasn't fair.
Well, sorry. I knew you would come on the podcast and brag about you winning. I couldn't let that happen.
I guess not.
As I said before, I have a fragile ego.
Yeah. Okay, well, you proved your manhood by whooping me in cornhole.
Yeah. Well, at least they had new cornhole bags this time.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then in the early afternoon, they did another pool party, which was kind of fun. It wasn't a foam party, but they threw all the beach balls back in the pool. And that was fun. They had a DJ like blaring the music and just try to get everybody's energy up, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of like the midweek slump because it was Wednesday. So that was really fun. And one of my favorite things I did in the pool that day is that there was this older couple there. They were probably, 70-ish probably.
Yes.
They were just a great couple. They were perfectly in tune with each other. The unfortunate thing is that he had Parkinson's disease, and it had advanced on him a little bit, and his motor skills were definitely affected. But he didn't let that stop him. We didn't mention, but they played kinky darts with us, and they were awesome. So they were in the pool during the pool party, and when everybody was batting the beach balls around, and he could pick them up and hit the beach balls, but he didn't have the reflexes to grab them, because they float away really quick when they come at you. So he was having trouble grabbing the beach balls. So I was grabbing some of the beach balls and kind of feeding them to him, and then he was able to pick them up and toss them. But I really admired their relationship and their willingness to put themselves out there. So I guess the reason I'm bringing this couple up is because when we go to the Desire website, we see all the models that have posed for the professional pictures of Desire. And of course, those models are gorgeous. When you get to Desire, those kind of people aren't there. There's real people there.
Well, they're there, but there are real people there too.
Well, there's very few of those model people there.
Right.
The rest of us are real people. And we're going there to have a sexy time, not to show how beautiful we are or how young we are. And that couple, to me, is just the epitome of a solid couple who is there to have their own sexy vacation.
Yeah, and we see a couple like that every time we go.
Right. So if you're thinking about going to Desire, but you're afraid to actually, pull the trigger and book the vacation because you don't think that, you think you have that 5 more pounds to lose, or you think you're going to be the oldest couple there or whatever, just book the vacation. You will fit in and you're going to have a fantastic time.
Yep.
So anyway, my rant is done.
Anyway, so Michael and Holly were broadcasting that day, and our
Yes,
friends from Florida were coming back over from RM.
Yes, we were counting down the hours.
Yeah, and as soon as they got there, Michael and Holly were in the middle of their broadcast.
Right. So yeah, they had just put their stuff down. They had got in the pool with us. We'd all got a drink and we were standing around talking, and Michael and Holly were already broadcasting. And then we hear in the middle of our conversation, Michael say, and when we come back from break, we're going to get the Joneses to come up and talk with us. And we were like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So here we are naked in the pool. So we had to jump out and dry off and put a sarong on, or I guess you had to put a swimsuit on.
Yeah. So for those of you who listen to Playboy Swing, Playboy Radio,
right,
the Swing Show with Michael and Holly, it's episode 434 where they interview us. And we had a good time. It was a good interview.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, but we got back in the pool after that quickly to reconnect with our friends.
Definitely.
Yeah. We spent the afternoon in the pool. I think we went to the hot tub for a little while.
Yeah. Went to dinner again.
Yeah. We went back to our room and we all changed and showered and went to dinner. And
then after dinner, we did come back and change this time.
Yeah, we did.
Because this night was burlesque night. And the burlesque night, the attire for the ladies is corsets and, well, I guess it's corset night, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So she and I both put like black corsets on and little skirts. And
and you two looked awesome together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not that we looked awesome together, but we were.
As soon as you put those corsets on and you stood together,
we
for
were
a
hot
picture,
for each other.
Yeah,
my gosh.
You were definitely hot
there was
for each
definitely some chemistry there.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
So the four of us went to the lobby because the show that night was in the lobby. And I have to say that burlesque show is my all-time favorite.
It's pretty sexy.
Show that I've ever seen at Desire. And we've seen quite a few shows. And they're all fabulous. I'm always very appreciative of the talent and the effort that goes into their shows. But there was this one girl that was just amazing. The energy she put into her dance. I mean, it was just, she was mesmerizing. You just couldn't stop looking at her. She was just like, the sexual chemistry was just like flowing off of her as she was like interacting with the guests, because I really liked the fact that the show was in the lobby because they had more room to move around, and then they also had more opportunities to interact with the guests. Like they would pull a guest up, like a guy up, and put him in a chair, and they'd be like dancing all over him and sitting on him and like, unbuttoning his shirt and that kind of stuff. And that was kind of fun, but just there was just a lot of like sexual chemistry in that show. Mm-hmm. Very hot. Yep. Of course, I think the four of us had the sexual chemistry going on as well. And that was definitely adding to our appreciation of the show.
I think I was waiting to get through that burlesque show. Like I'm waiting for you to get through this story so we can talk about going back to our room.
But to me, that was really good foreplay. I don't know.
Foreplay was Monday night.
Yeah, I know. This was more foreplay.
Yeah.
So I like foreplay.
So we went back to our room.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got the other action cards out.
Yes.
Of the game.
Yeah.
And we finished our game.
We did finish our game, and things escalated quickly.
It was not disappointing.
No.
We connected the four of us were sitting on the sofa. You two ladies were in the middle, and he and I were on I was next to her and he was next to you. And as soon as the action cards came out, we quickly ended the game.
Yeah.
And went into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
And our bedroom was decorated that night.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was. It was so pretty.
It was decorated with you and our friend.
Well, you get a little towel in them every night, but this night they had taken towels and put them in the shapes of heart.
Whatever.
The shape of a big heart on the bed, and there were rose petals everywhere. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I just remember you two ladies intertwined on the bed. I don't remember any towel animals, any rose petals.
The whole thing was just magical.
You were going at it.
We were.
You were going at it. I've never seen you with another woman like that before. I mean, I have seen you with another woman, but the two of you were just you were just so connected.
I think, I mean, yeah. We didn't play with any toys, but I've never had full on sex with a woman before. I mean, we didn't have any toys, but it was just wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
And he and I were just our jaws were on the floor, holy crap.
Yeah, we were crazy.
You just got to watch that.
I know.
Didn't want to interrupt anything.
Yeah, we got a little sweaty before things even got started.
Yeah.
Man.
And then he took you and I took her. And
yeah, then we took our frustrations out on you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Because you actually had appendages that worked.
Yeah. That was probably the most passionate, I would say passionate time we've had.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Because, I mean, just 4-way passion.
Right.
It was crazy.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we started out with you guys first before she and I came together.
Yeah. So
we got you guys a little worked up.
A little.
Yeah. And then she and I had some fun together, and then we went back to you two.
Yeah. And they were we full swapped.
Yeah. That was,
and even like last weekend when we were home, we started texting them.
I know.
And they texted us back, and that was probably the hottest 4-way texting we've had going on.
That was like,
and I felt bad.
I said, when we were done, I'm like, that was some crazy digital foreplay.
I know. But I felt bad for them, not really, but they were with their kids at home.
I know.
And we were here by ourselves.
You and I threw the phones down, and we went into the bedroom, and we just like tore each other up.
Yeah. But anyway.
But that night, I mean, we were just like all over each other.
There was one thing. I mean, he was on top. You were on top of him, and she and I had already finished, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
You were on top of him, and he had grabbed your ass and your hips with his hands.
He was pulling me up and down.
He's a strong guy, and he was just pulling you back and forth violently.
He slapped my ass a couple times.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. That was hot.
I know it was
hot.
Yeah, because he waited until I was already crazy. So that was really hot.
Yeah, we could have just gone home right then. That would have been.
Yeah. That was definitely like the peak.
Yeah.
I guess.
So thank you, our Florida friends.
I know.
That
was really, really fun.
Yeah.
And I think we actually had tacos with them that night.
We did.
Yeah, that was like tradition at that point.
Yeah,
because again, they had to go take a taxi back to RM. So I think we had 2 a.m. tacos.
Yeah.
Delicious.
So really, that was Wednesday. So really Thursday and Friday, they were both great days. We played basketball. That's when we played basketball with Jay. I played basketball with Jay.
Right.
We met so many people on this trip.
We did.
We met our friends from Minnesota, our friends from Chicago, our Blue Water friends. We met so many people from Texas.
I know. I like half the people. I don't think I'm exaggerating. Half the people from the resort were from Texas.
Yeah. So, and this was a little bit of a different trip for us because I think the interview with Michael and Holly and people started making the connection with who we were.
Yeah, because I think some people might have either heard of our podcast or actually listened to it, but didn't realize we were here.
I was stunned by the number of people that knew who we were. And we had so much fun socializing because we sit here in our basement and we talk to each other. And we don't often get times to connect with the people that are listening to us. And so we enjoyed so much, even though at the end of the week we were tired.
I know.
We just enjoyed talking with everyone.
It was really, it was kind of overwhelming. I mean, we know that there's people out there listening to us, but to actually meet them, same thing in New Orleans, you get to put the faces with the invisible people that we think we're talking to. Yeah. So that was really fun. Yeah. And just people from all over the place.
All over the world.
Canada.
A couple from New Jersey.
We met a couple from Peru. Yeah.
I mean, we started writing down the names of the people that we met, and we got up to about 25 couples. And so I know that we're forgetting somebody, but if we talked with you and met you, we certainly appreciate you all. Oh, New Hampshire, friends from New Hampshire too.
Yep.
So it was a lot of fun.
So that Thursday night after dinner, we were in the lobby just kind of hanging out, and there was this couple getting a drink at the bar, and they had just gotten into the resort, and they were tired because they'd been flying all day, and she was gorgeous. So they ended up skipping dinner, which probably wasn't smart.
Right. And they added alcohol.
Yeah, it was uniform night. So she went back and put on this SWAT uniform. It was like black leather, and she was absolutely gorgeous. So we ran into them in the disco, and she and I ended up doing some serious dirty dancing that night. Yeah. We had a lot of fun. Yeah. But unfortunately, because they had skipped dinner and she didn't skip any drinks, they just kind of crashed. Yeah. at that point, which,
But we had dinner with them Friday night.
yeah, we did. So the
Yeah.
next, after they got a good night's sleep, we managed to have dinner with them on Friday, and they were just really fun to hang out with.
Yep.
But those 2 nights, I think you and I just kind of, we would hang out in the hot tub a little while, but I think we had sex. We had sex in the jacuzzi bed.
Twice.
Yeah, I think it was either Thursday night or Friday night.
Yeah.
And then I know we did the last night, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
So Saturday morning, I wake up and there's this man leaning over me, just kind of staring at me. And I'm like, what are you doing? You were kind of just like sitting on the edge of the bed looking at me.
Yeah.
You weren't trying to wake me up or anything. You
No.
didn't touch me. You were just looking at me.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking about that today. I don't know if I'm going to say this right because I haven't verbalized it. So hopefully it'll come out right. One of the fears that I had early on in this lifestyle, especially when I was going through the jealousy thing, is trying to understand how to separate having sex with the love, the emotional part of the relationship,
Right.
separating those two. And I think there was always a little bit of a fear there that if I gave that part of our relationship away and shared it with other people, that it wouldn't be special between us, because that was something that we always had together.
You mean that sex wouldn't be special
Yeah.
between us? Okay.
Yeah, because it was just the two of us, and now we were having other people come in, and I thought, well, maybe that wouldn't be the same anymore.
Right.
But I think what I've learned, and especially that week at Desire, there's a difference in making love and having sex.
Yes.
And I think that I never realized this before, but if I look back over our 30-something years, I think that I didn't understand the difference between the two, even with you. Because obviously there's times when you do quickies and you're having fun and it's just sex. But then there were times that it was more emotional and it was more making love.
Right.
But I'm able to see that now. And now what I really understand is we have sex with other people and we have fun with other people. And you and I have sex together and we have fun together. Like there's times when we laugh and we joke and we try things we haven't done before, and it's playful and it's fun.
Or when you like toss me on the bed and grab my hair and then I'm like, what the hell is going on? And
Yeah.
right. But then sometimes it's like really, really tender.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and I think I realized after that, I can't have that with anybody else because I don't have that depth of emotional intimacy with anybody. So,
Right.
So making love is something that is different than having sex.
Right. And that's something that only we do.
Yeah. I can't even give that away if I wanted to.
Right.
Having sex with other women and you having sex with other men pales in comparison to when we make love. And that morning when I was sitting there watching you, and of course, no shock that I was up early drinking coffee and you were still in bed. And it was the end of the vacation. I was being kind of reflective on everything. And I was just watching you sleep and, just being a little bit sentimental about, oh my gosh, you're an amazing woman. And it's so great to have you and all this fun that we have together. And, I think you woke up at that point in time when I was having those thoughts. And then when I came to bed with you, it was really just a more tender.
That was the sweetest love we've made in a long time. That was just so sweet and tender that morning.
Right.
Yeah. That's the kind that sometimes when we do that, sometimes I cry. And then you're always like, oh my gosh, what's wrong? And I'm like, but those are just like happy tears because they're just the emotions are so overwhelming.
Right.
Like that's just the time where I realize that what we have is just so amazing. It's indescribable.
Right. And to a certain point, I think that maybe the imbalance you've been feeling over the past couple months with the party and Naughty in New Orleans and everything is because we've had a lack of that.
Yeah.
Making love. And really when the vacation was coming to a close and we had had such a good time and we were running out of energy. And I don't know, it just felt like it was something that I needed to do. I just had to do that. I felt like when you woke up,
perfect.
When you woke up, I was going to be making love to you. You just didn't know it. So anyway, I don't know if
I could oblige.
I don't know if I explained that well enough.
No, I think you did.
But so if those of you who are out there are wondering, like I did, like this is something that you have, you know, that you've promised your spouse you're going to do, just the two of you. And when you think about giving that away and you wonder what that's going to be like, and I can try to explain it, Mrs. Jones can try to explain it, other people can try to explain it, but honestly, you are not going to understand it until you are in that position yourself.
Yeah.
There's really no way to describe the feeling that there's so much satisfaction in the lifestyle. There's so much complementary things that go on there that make our relationship stronger. And I think in a way, it's helped when we make love, it's so much more special now because
it brings us closer.
Sex is different.
Right.
Sex is different than making love.
And it becomes more obvious, I guess.
Right.
So that when we do have those tender moments where it's just you and I and it's in an emotion, it's not really, we're not looking for that physical release, we're looking for that emotional connection.
Right.
When we have sex, then that is so much more special because that doesn't happen with anybody else.
Right.
And it doesn't always happen with us because sometimes we're just looking for that crazy intense physical release between you and I because we know exactly how to do it to each other.
Right. And I loved you so much that we went to the foam party that day and I gave you a black eye.
True story. So yes, we were in the foam party and Mr. Jones and Marco have a little bit of a competitive...
Marco's the staff.
Yeah, he's one of the activity staff, and they have a little bit of a competitive thing going between them. They play volleyball, they play cornhole, and basketball, water polo, you name it. So now we're just batting beach balls around at the foam party.
Well, he attacked. He tried to ambush me. And I took a defensive position, and I was jumping up and down, and the foam was pretty high. And I came down and I elbowed you and I caught the edge of your sunglasses. And at that point in time, I just thought I caught your sunglasses and I said, "Oh, sorry about that."
And I didn't really think I didn't think it was that bad either because, I mean, you caught me and the foam was like slippery because your elbow slid right off of me. It's not like it was a direct hit, but the next morning I woke up with a black eye.
Yeah.
It was bad. Thank goodness we were leaving that day.
Yeah. Although when we were going through the airport, I was wondering if we were going to get questioned.
I know. Mr. Jones was getting some looks. They would look at me and then they would look at him like, you terrible husband. We
did meet one other couple before we left.
Yes, we did.
From New Jersey.
Yes, on Saturday.
Yeah.
We met a great couple from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And ended up having dinner with them that night. And they were so sexy. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, both of them were.
She wasn't feeling well.
No. So we ended up going to the disco with them. And, she wasn't feeling well. So they turned in early. And then we did get to see them the next morning because I don't think we had to leave until like noon.
Yeah.
The next day.
They're not too far away. They're just a quick train ride up the East Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got to catch up with them again a little bit. And, they're a great couple. So I heard somebody else say this. I don't know if it was C&D or if it was TNA, but when you go to Desire, one of the things you have to do is you have to check in with people and figure out when they're leaving. But unfortunately, we were the ones leaving that time. Yeah. You make connections and then the timing isn't right.
Yeah. So to bring it full circle, the thing about Desire is if you've been there before, no explanation is necessary. If you've never been there, no explanation is possible.
No, it's indescribable.
And we would definitely recommend it as a vacation spot for if you're the gateway drug kind of into the lifestyle.
Yes, it is.
But we had a great time. Another very unique vacation. They're all different, even though it feels like home. Each of them have a different flavor and a different personality.
Yep, I imagine it's going to be that way every time we go.
Yeah, and stay tuned because we are going to probably within the next month or so announce when we're going to go to Pearl, or maybe not Pearl, but Desire in 2017.
Yes.
Possibly with a couple of other podcasters.
Definitely.
So, what did we miss? Anything?
We didn't give a sex fort update.
Oh, yeah.
So the last night, Mr. Jones and I wanted to play alone.
Episode, was it 11?
Yes.
Was from our Desire trip from last year.
Yeah, so last year when we were there, one of the pool beds around the quiet end of the pool at Desire Pearl is an excellent place to have sex at night. And we ended up calling it the sex fort because we would like to pull the curtains down and kind of, like making a fort out of blankets when you're a kid. So Mr. Jones and I wanted to play in the sex fort on the last night, just the two of us. And we made our way around there, and the guy was cleaning again.
Yeah.
He didn't have the power washer out, but he had a bucket full of chemicals, and he was like with a big scrub brush, and he was cleaning all around our sex fort. So we had sex in a jacuzzi bed.
I think we had sex in a jacuzzi bed twice.
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I got bug bites the last night, though. So I had black eye and bug bites. I was a mess when we got home.
So thank you, Desire Pearl. We had a great time, and thank
As
you
always.
everybody that we met,
Yep.
and especially those who we played with. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Hope to catch you guys again. So when we come back, we've got a couple of sexy snapshots, and we'll put episode 28 to rest.
All right. Okay, well, welcome back to our last segment of the evening, our snapshot segment. We have the privilege of sharing the snapshots of the first couple that we played with that week when we were at Desire. And when they got home, they emailed us with some snapshots that they said that we could share on our episode. So here we go. I'm going to read the ladies' version, and you're going to read the gentleman's version. Is that right?
Yeah, these are our friends from Michigan.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so hers starts out. It says, "My snapshot is super sexy and was within the play session. Mrs. Jones and I had just received excellent oral attention from each other's husband. As we were turning our attention to the boys, I asked Mrs. Jones if she minded helping me make one of my husband's fantasies come true. Mrs. Jones responded that she could guess what he wanted and promptly proceeded to help me give him his first double blowjob. Together, we blew him and his mind at the same time." I love that. "I loved making his fantasy come true. It was a moment that I, and I'm sure he, will never forget. Thank you, Mrs. Jones." Let me just say that was my pleasure.
I know. But when you think about that, so that couple, they're a great couple. They're going to take that story to their graves.
Oh, no kidding.
And you were a part of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, isn't that cool?
Yeah. I mean, just like we remember the two ladies that did the same thing with you at Desire.
I know.
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's his. "It was the next afternoon while having breakfast." I guess they overslept. "As we recalled the night's events, my wife's eyes got wide all of a sudden as it hit her that you may talk about our evening on the podcast. I said that I thought you might, and reminded her that the details were always shared in a way to protect the not-so-innocent. I then said that my bigger fear is that the subject and title of the next podcast ends up being Mrs. Jones Takes One for the Team."
No way.
We both laughed out loud. "I'm hoping it's not, but I'm really glad that she did.
Oh.
Thank you again," from our Michigan couple friends.
I do not take one for the team.
No.
And that wasn't even close.
No.
Oh my goodness. You guys were so fun and so sexy.
Yeah. Thank you for sending those snapshots.
Yes.
Very cool. So what's yours, Mrs. Jones?
So mine's silly. I there's just so much going through my mind, but the thing that just makes me giggle every time I think about it was our friends that came over from RM, the first night they came over when he was incapacitated. And we were sitting in the Pearl restaurant. It's such a beautiful, classy restaurant, and the four of us are having a really nice dinner together. And he's talking about being incapacitated, and then the conversation kept getting sexy. I mean, there was just so much chemistry among the four of us.
Yeah.
I mean, we were trying to talk about family and jobs and all that nonsense, but it wasn't working. There was just this sexual tension at the table. It was ridiculous. So I said something that was suggestive, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you can't talk about that. You know, you can't. When I get hard, it hurts," because everything was just so raw. And I reached over and I put my hand on his arm. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to rub it in." And he was like, "Rub it in. You're making it worse. Rub it in." So then, of course, that became the joke that I wanted to rub it in all night.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm not kidding. I really did want to rub it in. Oh my.
Yeah. Well, you made up for it.
I know. I had to wait 2 days, but yes, I had plenty of time to rub it in.
So I'm going to cheat and do 2 quick snapshots.
Okay.
So my first one's not very sexy at all. There was a night, there was Mardi Gras night, or the night we wore the masks. What night was that?
Oh, that was the lingerie night. It was lingerie and masks.
Yeah, you made us wear masks.
Yes.
And we got there and we both said, we don't want these masks.
Well, yeah, you can't see with the masks on.
So I said, well, I'm going to run back to the room. I'll take them back to the room. So I left. I went around the corner and I ended up following a couple. And I was by myself and they were in front of me and they heard me and they turned around and looked at me. And at that very moment, I felt like all of a sudden it went from this very sexy, sensual, romantic environment to me feeling creepy.
You were the creeper guy.
Yeah, because I was by myself and I know I wasn't doing anything wrong, but it just reminded me that, that vacation is about us.
Right.
And we're never separated. And when I went back,
you and I are together all the time at Desire.
And I went back to the room and I felt kind of strange just walking the place by myself. So that is not a sexy snapshot, but it really, made me stop and think that, this is not a place for single guys.
No.
This is a place for couples.
Yeah.
And
Desire ain't temptation, that's for sure.
No, it's not. But anyway, to end on a sexy one, to the same couple that you were talking about with all the sexual tension. And she's a petite thing and she's so full of energy, but she's also very flexible.
Yes, she is. I knew you were going to say this.
And when we were full swapping and I was with her missionary, she took her legs and straightened them out. And then she spread them like she was doing the splits.
Well, like the straddles.
Sideways
instead of front back.
Sideways, yeah. While I was inside of her. And she just held her legs there. And
it was hot.
I didn't last much longer beyond that. Because her body is amazing.
Yeah. No kidding.
So I couldn't do a non-sexy snapshot with that image in my
head. I had a
head.
feeling that was going to be a snapshot when you didn't say something about it earlier. I knew that would have to come out in the podcast somehow.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, they were so much fun.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks guys.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks everyone. So as we get ready to wrap up 28, our website is just about finished.
You are almost ready to flip the switch.
I'm doing so much work. I am so excited about this website.
You're learning a lot.
I am learning a lot.
Yeah.
And it's going to do a whole lot. I just have to stop working and go ahead and release it and then just keep making improvements. But I'm really excited about everything that I'm learning. And I think you guys are really going to like it. So I am still working on it. Don't give up on us.
But in the meantime, we're making plans. We're hoping to do more interactive stuff with our listeners. We're planning a trip to Desire that we're going to work with other podcasters on.
Yep.
So we really have some exciting stuff coming
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah. Well, we're going to start a blog on
Yeah.
a new website, and we're going to build a community and interact with you a little bit more that way. So it's really exciting. So you can please email us at Mr. Jones at wegotathing.com, MRJONES at wegotathing.com, or
Mrs. Jones, MRSJONES at wegotathing.com.
Or-
And don't forget, I know somebody out there wants to be the 69th iTunes review.
I know,
Yes,
69. You can be 69.
that's right.
Our website is wegotathing.com. Follow us on Twitter at wegotathing. And we have a community on Cassidy, though we are probably going to be trying to grow our own community on
Yes.
our own website
Yes.
here pretty soon. So, thanks for listening. We are Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and we got a thing.
What's your thing?
Okay, now you can bring us in like normal.
You bring us in.
No, I can bring us in like normal.